I'm Monica.
And I'm Mans.
Welcome to Bras Off, Walls Down, a space where women share their real, raw, and unfiltered stories.
No topics off limits. No story too big or too small.
Let's get into it. Episode 2. We've got our community guest.
Yeah, first ever community guest. So every second episode, we will have just an everyday member of the community that's here to share their story. And it might be educational, it might be hilarious, it might be full of drama.
It might be a bit deep.
These are the episodes that will make you, laugh or cry or be like, oh my God, thank goodness, same. Or they might just open your eyes to another way of living or another point of view that maybe will help you in your own life as well.
Yeah. And today we've got Sinead.
Hi.
I've known Sinead for ever.
Yeah.
How long's ever?
She attended my baby birthdays.
Yeah, we've known each other forever, but I forgot.
Yeah.
So we did some digging. There'd be probably some embarrassing photos together.
Apparently there is.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen them, but
as we got older, I didn't know who Sinead was.
when we were early teens, I was like, I don't know who that is, but yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And then my mum was like, you grew up together.
You know her. Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I was like, okay. I was like, we went to her birthday parties. And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And now she lives with us.
Yeah.
Stuck together.
Yeah. And I wanted to bring you on to the podcast. Well, I feel like we'll be seeing a lot of you, to be honest.
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like there's
a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we could talk about. But today we wanted to talk about women in male-dominant industries.
Nice.
Because you're in the male-dominant industry, one of them, and I think it's really interesting to hear your perspective, your story, your challenges, and I think you've got some good stories, whether they be bad.
Not all good.
Yeah. All the good, but I also know you love what you do.
Yeah.
So I think it would be really interesting to hear the perspectives and your journey so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then potentially give some advice to some people at the end.
Yeah. So would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a bit about you and
what I do and stuff.
just you.
Okay.
Me. So the listeners can get to know Sinead before we dive into all the nitty-gritty.
Who is she?
I don't even know who Sinead is.
How old is Sinead?
Sinead is 25, nearly 25, yeah.
She's still a baby.
I know. It's ready for my quarter-life crisis, I think.
Yeah. It's about you.
Yeah. And obviously my name is Sinead.
And when you're not working in your male-dominated industry, what do you like to do with your spare time?
Hang out with my friends. I like going on nature walks and stuff with them. Usually the gym, reading, stuff like that. Yeah. None of my hobbies are the same. They're all over the place. So
it's all right.
yeah, just whatever I feel like.
Yeah. And the one question we do want to ask absolutely everybody we have on the podcast is, what was the last moment you had that was, I'm just trying to survive life?
Me washing my hair yesterday.
So I feel like a lot of people can relate to that one.
Yeah, I hate washing my hair. It's the worst day of the week. I only do it once a week now because I just don't want to do it.
With that much hair, you've got long hair. And
I hate doing it.
I will get this question. It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
I don't know why I get this asked all the time, but is Sinead's hair real?
It's real. It is.
Fact check.
Yeah. I can understand why it's a lot to watch.
Yeah, and I just don't like doing it. So, yeah.
You just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Lovely. Tell everybody what you do for a living. What is your job in your male-dominated industry?
So I am a qualified plumber and gas fitter for 6 years now. Yeah.
6 years?
Yeah, so that's including my apprenticeship, but
yeah.
Wow. But long time now, hey?
Yeah, that is a long time.
Yeah.
And have you got any idea why did you get into it? What made you want to be a plumber?
Well, when I was younger, I hated school
and
I didn't want to be in school, so I was like, I need to do a trade. I wasn't allowed to drop out of school, so I still finished school. But I did actually want to be a bricklayer first. I don't know who talked me out of it, but someone did, and I'm kind of glad they did because I just couldn't imagine it now. My back's already sore. Imagine if I was a bricklayer.
And that's amazing that they're both male-dominated things.
Yeah, they both are.
Yeah. But it was really good at the time that I was at school because, obviously I didn't want to be there. I only really did English and maths, and the rest was in, the building construction, metalwork, woodwork, and all that stuff. And they sent me to a bunch of try trades where I could just try whatever I wanted. Did, plumbing, painting, bricklaying, carpentry, electrical, like a bunch of stuff. And just I enjoyed plumbing. There really isn't like a massive answer. Like I just like enjoyed it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And like, so many people are like, you can't do it, and living proof that you can.
Oh, yeah. Do you still enjoy it?
I do. There are like, obviously there's days with every job where you're just like, what am I doing? But for the most part, I do enjoy my job. Yeah.
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 What parts specifically do you like about it? Like what parts do you look forward to? What parts do you enjoy of your job?
I think like I actually don't even know what it is I enjoy about it, because people look at it and they're just like, that's so gross. I love being on blockages. I don't know what it is about it, but I love it.
I do get videos, like Snapchats from you of her like doing blockages.
Yeah, I love being on blockages, and like every time we have a new person start, like I'm introduced as the blockage queen. Like I just enjoy it. Like, and it's funny because when I started at this new company, I'd never driven a trailer before in my life, and like to be on blockages, you have to take the Jetta trailer. And it was terrifying. But now I'm like, it's my favourite thing to do.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like the satisfaction of
unblocking, like if it's a whole house blockage, and just like it is really satisfying. Like just watching it all go away. Like it's great. Like it is initially pretty gross, obviously. Like it's gross, but like it's also very satisfying.
Yeah.
And for anyone, obviously we all know what a plumber is, right? We know what a plumber is.
Yeah.
But what does a plumber actually do? You've said you're the queen of blockages, so
yes,
I know your call from now on.
Yeah.
What else does a plumber do?
So, lots of things. There's actually so many different types of plumbing, obviously. So there's like new builds. You could do anything from the drainages in the ground to like the gutters and downpipes to like your stormwater tanks, and then like obviously all the things that you can't see, like the pipes in the walls and like all that stuff. And then there's also like changing out tapware, there's blockages, there's like running new water to things, and there's just so much to plumbing. There's looking after, like even like up north, there's like looking after the poo plants and stuff like that, making sure everything's broken down properly and heats and all that stuff.
Just repeat that for me a second. What, looking after the what?
Yeah, this is what Crystal told me about up there. See, I didn't even know about this.
I just want you to say it again.
A poo plant.
A poo plant.
Yeah, something like that. I think there's probably a proper
technical term.
I think there is a technical term.
There would be, surely.
Obviously,
Yeah.
but
I
like
really hope there's not. I hope that's what we
Yeah,
call
when you say what do you do, I'm a plumber. What kind of plumber? I'm
I
gonna
look
ask
after
you
the
that
poo
now.
plants.
What kind of plumber are you?
You're going to find one.
I am
Yeah.
a plumber.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
You're right.
Yep.
The main part, like reason why we wanted to get you on and talk about like the male-dominated industries, and specifically plumbing, is obviously it comes with challenges.
Yeah.
So we've all three of us have worked in male-dominant industries, and it comes with the good things, obviously something that draws us to it.
Yeah.
But it also comes with challenges and things that that make it stereotypically the male-dominated industry that women are in, and it's like breaking the stereotypes to be in it. What are those challenges or some barriers you faced between like just starting and now?
There's a lot. I feel like most people try and make it out to be like really great, which it is for the most part, but there always obviously is challenges. Like men are just a different breed. They aren't like they don't think the same as us, so like they will just say whatever they want, and like obviously to the wrong person that can be like really bad. But obviously, so like if you're going into like a male dominated trade, you have to have tough skin. If you don't have tough skin, you're not going to last. Like you have to learn to take a joke, but you also have to learn to give it back. Like you cannot just take and take and take and take. Like it's okay to give it back. They respect you so much more for it.
Yeah.
Banter is
the
huge banter. And if you can't banter, like you're not going to last. Like they're just going to single you out and they just don't care.
Like you've got to set boundaries as well.
You do.
Yeah.
You like there obviously is a point. There's a line, and if you don't set that line, they're just going to push and push and push. Like so,
see where that line is.
Yeah, but they want to know how much they can take from you and kind of thing. So you got to set that on early on, obviously, but also like push through all the shit that gets thrown at you, because you do become better for it.
Yeah.
Like you learn to accept it. Obviously to like a certain extent. If you're being like fully bullied and stuff like that, obviously that's not on. But most of the time they don't mean it in a way you're probably thinking they mean it.
Yeah, and this is where that fine line comes in male-dominated industries. And I think for any female, you might be listening to us when we say things like you have to be comfortable with, you know, certain ways that you're treated, and you have to be able to take it and stuff. And I think females that may not have been in a male-dominated industry be like, well, no, you fucking don't.
Yeah.
You can leave. Like you don't. Until you're in it.
You don't,
we were talking about this earlier before we started recording.
Yeah.
That it's not always as easy as just getting out or just getting another job. So there is a lot that goes with it, which into that emotional side, that where that line is, boundaries, how much you put up with. And this is why I think it needs to be a conversation that's had, because there's so many industries that are still really backwards.
Yeah.
So the normal, like, you know, we're both from dealership land. They are beyond backwards when it comes to women in the industry.
Yeah. And you don't have to accept it, but you do have to make the choice of, are you going to set your boundaries, speak up and put your foot down, or are you just going to take it and then kind of just let it take over and just let it kind of, it can destroy you if you're not careful. So when you said that people are saying you can't do it, like, yes, you can do it. And it's the point.
I either could have literally said, like, oh, yeah, everyone said I can't do it, so I can't.
Yeah.
But I, like, did the opposite, and I was like, yes, I can.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, watch me. Like, look at me now. Like, I think the biggest challenge as well is that I thought women would be more supportive.
Of it?
That is, like, my biggest thing at work now.
Women in the industry or
women outside of the industry.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously I work in maintenance now, so I'm going to people's homes and stuff. You find that, like, middle-aged women are probably the most rudest, like, and not welcoming about it. They say the most comments about it. Like, middle-aged women just don't like me.
Can I ask the horrible question? Is it because they don't think you're qualified? Like, do you know when you're at hospital and a doctor that looks like he's 12 comes out and in your head you go,
is he qualified?
Are you I think it's like I rock up. I don't look like a stereotypical tradie.
Yeah.
Obviously, when they call for a plumber, they're expecting a male to rock up. And then obviously I rock up, and they just kind of like look at me like, what are you doing here? And then I'm like, oh, like I'm from such and such plumbing. And then they're like, oh, so you're the plumber. But then they're more like, are you sure you can do this? Are you sure you can lift this? Like, are you sure that's something you can do? But it's like, I wouldn't be here if I couldn't do it.
I wouldn't be getting paid to do it.
I wouldn't be qualified if I couldn't do it either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like I wouldn't have stuck out my apprenticeship if I like didn't know I could do this. You know what I mean?
Like answering the door to a female plumber and being like, oh my God, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
I'll
just like a plumber. Like,
like the younger generation and like so older women are really nice about it. Older men, not so much. But like the older women are like, oh my gosh, back in our day, we were only teachers and nurses. Like we couldn't dare think to be someone like a tradie. And they're like, that's amazing that nowadays, like you can do things like that. And I'm like, yeah.
How the different generations,
view it. So
I guess in 20 years' time, I hope that females in these type of positions are going to be more common. But you're so right. For someone who's not expecting anything else, if you had someone's on the other side of that door, when you call a plumber or an electrician or, anything like that, when you open the door, you expect it to be a male. And that's nothing bad. That's just from how early we are in the days of women in these positions. So I can see why women would go, oh, but then there's no excuse to be fucking rude about
it. Negative. No, but it 100% throws a lot of people off. Like they like look really stunned when they open the door. And then sometimes it's in a good way and sometimes it's in a bad way. But like I reckon like 7 out of 10 at least customers I get, they always look behind me to see if I'm with anyone else. They always ask, are you here by yourself? Like, is it just you today?
That takes me on to another topic, something that you've talked about. Some experiences that you've had when you have gone to people's houses. And
yes.
Please, can we touch on this?
We can.
It's concerning.
It is,
and it's something that never
should happen.
Spoken about and should never happen. So can we dive into
We can, So obviously, like, I did my apprenticeship in new builds. I'm in an open space. There's no doorways or, like, anything like that. So going into maintenance, that was one of the concerns, like, going into people's houses. I have no idea who they are. They are strangers. I'm a female and I'm quite small. Like, I am. And compared to the boys, like, I'm not as strong as them and all that stuff. So, like, it's like, you know what I mean? So it was like my first month in maintenance. I wasn't supposed to have an apprentice that day, and I'm so glad I did because I was down past manager somewhere, and this guy, as soon as I got there, I just had weird vibes from him, and he sat there in the corner drinking all day. And, like, he just, just looked at you in a way.
I've already got goosebumps.
Yeah. And, like, so my apprentice at the time was packing up. We'd done for the day. I was just in there, like, last few things that I'm double checking and stuff. And he locked the door and then closed the big door and locked the door too. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, I was like, oh, I need to go get my screwdriver. And he's like, no, you don't. And I was like, no, like I do. I was like, I do.
Wait, so
and
you're both inside of the house.
Yeah.
And he's locked them.
Yeah. So I'm trying to call my apprentice. He's not answering. And I'm like, my apprentice is outside. I can hear him packing up the van. And he's like, I'm looking around, obviously, like, what's happening? And there's no other exits that I can see. Like, if push came to shove, like, he is someone that I probably could have taken because like an older, like, it's like no problems. Yeah, there's no problems there, but still not a situation you should really be in because, like, obviously when you're put in situations like that, you kind of freeze.
Yeah.
No matter who they are.
Yeah.
And then, so I was getting really concerned and then he was just like, no, you don't need to go outside. Like, that's fine. And I was like, I don't really understand what's happening. But, so my apprentice had made a loud noise and he was just like, oh, I forgot you have a young one with you today. And I was like, I do. And yeah, like that is, yeah. And he's like, do you think he's going to want to come inside? And I was like, obviously, like, of course he is. And then at this point he'd answered and yeah, then my apprentice is knocking at the door. He's opened the door. He's standing there with a grinder. He was ready to cut this door down. So from then it's good though, because when you find a company that respects you, they're going to do whatever they can to like make things easier for you. They're going to treat you right. Like they're going to put the time into you. Yeah. So they put things in place. So like the vans are obviously tracked. My phone's tracked. I have a safety button. So I just have to press the button and it sends a text message to...
It's got like overwhelming emotional.
Yeah.
You told me about this.
Yeah. So it sends a text message to, I think, the two supervisors, one of the ladies in the office, and then also the big boss. So, like, anytime. Like, if I also have to start my shift at the start of the day. If I haven't checked out of my shift, it also sends them a message so that they check in on me. Yeah, really nice.
It's good.
But, yeah. But then I, like, went to a house the other day, no reception. My safety button didn't work. And I was in a similar sort of situation and I was by myself this time. So it was more a, like, process of having to talk yourself out of a conversation.
The fact that this is even a thing.
Yeah.
This is what I was just thinking. I was like,
It's just
a male doesn't have to walk around with a safety button.
No.
no. That's like it's unheard of.
It is.
Yeah.
But like they are the things that you have to like. I know you shouldn't expect them, but they are things you do.
Something in place.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
I'd be really
traumatizing.
Curious to know if there are other women in your situation
that have like been through similar things.
Yeah, and if they have plans in place.
Yeah.
And if like. How many women will not have spoken up about things that might have gone further?
Yeah.
You know, you just never know. And because the fear and all of this, especially in a male-dominated industry, is that you're going to wind up without a job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whether it's through trauma and you can't do it anymore. Like, you know, imagine if that was just what took you over the line and you couldn't walk into a house and have someone close the door behind you anymore because that fear of it not being able to be opened again.
Yeah.
Or whether it's you speak up about something and they're like, oh, this is too difficult. We can't have any women. Like
being dramatic.
No, yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Like,
it's really good though. Like, it was brought up in the next meeting that we had for like every couple of weeks. And then since then, if the boys go to quote a job, like, and they think that it's not a safe environment, they will always put do not send Sinead by herself.
no.
Like, so it's nice to have that. So
And it's rare to find.
it's rare to find a company that's going to like respect you like that, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And have you had, they're obviously quite negative experiences. What do you find is a positive for you as a female in the plumbing industry?
When you go to places and it's like single mums or like elderly people and like stuff like that, and they actually are like, we were actually dreading today because we thought a male was going to be here. And then you walk in and they feel a lot more comfortable about it.
I love that.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah. So I went to a house the other day and it was like a mum, the little toddler, and then the dad was there. But he had to go to work, but she wanted him to stay initially when I first got there. But as soon as it was me, she's like, oh, that's fine. You can go to work. And then at the end, she was just like, it was very calming to know that like it was a female. And like, she was like, I felt a lot more safe about it and like stuff like that. So like, that's obviously really nice. Yeah.
Because I feel like that's almost something we should be able to request.
Yeah, because I get Dylan to stay home, like with the aircon guy, like and the end people. Like I asked Dylan to stay home because I'm like, there's going to be a male walking in and out of the house, and I've got a baby. I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
If you could request a female to do it, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Even to the simple fact that I'm trying to sell a pair of men's shoes on Marketplace, I will not tee up the time for a guy to come pick them up unless Hayden is home.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we're moving in a direction where more women are in these roles, and there's I know in Perth there's that female like handyman. So
Yeah.
I hate that I put female and handyman in the same thing, but for lack of a better terminology, you can hire a woman to come out and do stuff, and I think
that's really cool.
It's something that we should be able to almost request, and hopefully one day there is all women plumbing companies, and all women are like, because there are single women and people, and it's generally, I'm generalizing here, but it's usually the woman that's at home to be with these people that are coming in and out of the house. And with all the stories you hear these days.
Especially these ones.
Yeah.
Oh God. But to get to that point where women feel comfortable to make it through to like these industries, that's incredible. Like it'll take a lot, but it will be like a breaking point. Like I think more women have to speak up, like yourself, like us. We have the conversations all the time. Yeah. Because we have also worked in male dominated industries. And I think when more women are able to talk about the good and the bad, and finding a good industry, people that support you, you're actually getting looked after and respected, it is possible to make it and enjoy. Yeah.
And for any young girls out there that are going, because there is...
We were those girls. Going into pre-apprenticeships.
I would love to be a plumber. I'd love to be a brickie, or any women the young girls out there that are like looking into this, but they're getting the judgment from friends and family and society.
Because my mum had a lot of worry, or she wanted to be an auto sparky, and my mum was like, why are my girls going into male-dominated industries? It's not safe. That's the first thing my mum said. It's not safe. What would you tell these women or these girls?
What advice would you give them?
I feel like if it's what you want to do, just do it. Like, don't be scared to do it. Like, take the leap of faith, because the right place will treat you right and you will be respected. But like also like don't not say anything if things are happening. Like, because there are so many job opportunities being female. Like being a female and in a male dominated industry, there are so many opportunities.
And I don't know if this is still the case, but most male dominated industries will get incentive to hire.
Yes.
And they get
for women
more
when they get signed off.
Just to hire sign off female tradies.
Wow. Okay. That's good. So that puts you in a good position.
Yeah. Like there is always options. So you don't have to just stay somewhere if you think you're being completely like used and abused. Like if you think you're being treated poorly because of being a girl and stuff like that, there are so many opportunities. But
use your voice and don't settle. I think there's two massive takeaways.
Pretty much.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I feel like we probably could have sat there for another hour, especially we joined in on all our stories, but we really wanted this to be just about Sinead. And it was very, very interesting.
Even I learned a lot. I thought I knew it all.
I think I was crying there at one point when you were talking about the safety button. Just to be in a position where that is part of your everyday life, where you have a button just in case. It's like a different world, really.
That is but I feel like we could chat on this more if it's something that other people want to join in on the conversation. If there's other questions people have or advice people want, if you want to hear more from Sinead, because I feel like you could tell more stories and talk more on this.
Oh, I've got heaps that I could talk about.
Because it's something that anyone wants to jump in on the conversation with. I think that'd be awesome.
Otherwise, we'll see you in another 2 episodes for another Real Women, Real Stories episode.
Thanks, Sinead.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time.
If you loved this episode, don't forget to hit follow or subscribe so you never miss a chat.
And we love seeing where you're listening. Tag us in your stories at Bras Off Walls Down and let us know your favourite takeaway.
Got a question or a topic you want us to cover? Slide into our DMs. We love hearing from you.
See you next time.